Hi. In this video, we will learn about the RANDARRAY function in Excel.
The RANDARRAY function can generate an array of numbers between two values. We can define the size of the array by giving the number of rows and columns as arguments, and the generated values can be either decimals or whole numbers. So the syntax is RANDARRAY, rows, that's the number of rows we want, and the default number is 1, and columns is the number of columns we want, and the default number is again 1. And minimum is the minimum value in the range, and the default value is 0. And maximum is the maximum value in the range, and the default for that is 1. And with the integer argument, we can specify whether we want whole numbers, integers, and the integer argument will specify whether we want whole numbers or decimal numbers. And the default here is decimal numbers. And you have to note that RANDARRAY is a volatile function, which means it recalculates every time there's a change in the worksheet. So let's look at some examples. Here we want to generate 40 values in a range of 8 rows by 5 columns. So we can write the function like this, equals RANDARRAY. And the number of rows is 8, and it's 5 columns. And I can close bracket and press enter. So get a 40 values, 8 by 5, all random. And it basically spills into the range. And here, if I do some change, let's say I type 1 over here, you can see it recalculated. So that's why it's basically called a volatile function. Every time you do a change in your workbook, this updates and a new set of numbers are generated. So if you want to keep the numbers fixed, you will have to copy and paste it as values. So I can do Control C here, and I will come over here, and I will use the shortcut Alt ES and V, and that's for values, and press OK. Now I got a static set of numbers. So this, if you're going to use these numbers again and again, it will be changing. So it's always better to copy paste as values and use these numbers if you're going to use it. And you can see the default numbers we are getting are decimal numbers, not the integers. Here we want to return a random array of integers, 5 rows by 4 columns, and the range is between 1 and 10. So let's write the function equals RANDARRAY, and the rows are 5, and we want 4 columns, and minimum value is 1, and the maximum value is 10, and we want integers. So we will select true option and press enter. So here we got a random array of 20 numbers, all integers. And here we want to get an array of 24 integers between 1 and 100 without any duplicates. So let's write the function RANDARRAY. So we want 24 numbers, so we will put 24 as rows and 1 column, and minimum is 1, and the maximum value is 100, and we want integers, so go for the last argument, close the bracket and press enter. So here actually I have put conditional formatting to this range, so that's why these numbers are highlighted. So these are actually duplicates. So we can see 32 here, 32 here, 87, 87, 75, and 75. And here also we got another 75. So generally, when you use this function, you can get duplicates. So here we want to only have 24 integers. So what we do? We can basically wrap it around in a unique function. So I can do it here. I will write, to make it easy, I will just copy this function from here. Control C, and come over here and paste it. And in front, I will put unique function. So I will only generate unique numbers. So then I will close the unique function bracket over here and press enter. So I do have, now I have got some numbers, and you can see it's less than 24. These are all unique, but it's less than 24. So I will just put some numbers here so we can see. Let me copy it down. So we have 24 numbers up to here. So the unique function has restricted the number to 22. So we wanted 24 numbers, but we are only getting 22 because the unique function has removed some duplicates. So if we want to end up with 24 integers, we might have to increase the number over here. So rather than 24, maybe we can try with 26. So got the hash fill error because of the data over here. Let me insert some space. So now I got 24 numbers. And let me check whether it's unique. I can go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rows, and select duplicate values. And I'll add red fill with dark red text. Okay. And as you can see, there are no duplicate numbers in the range. So we can use unique function to extract only unique numbers. And by the way, here, RANDARRAY, after going through a new iteration, it has come up with some unique numbers. That's why the conditional formatting doesn't highlight any duplicates. So sometimes you can get exactly the number you want, but if you don't get, you need to increase the number like this from 24 to maybe 26 and so on to get the required number of unique values. We can also use the RANDARRAY function to generate random letters between A to Z. To do that, we need the help of another function that is called the char function or character function. So let me first show you how that works. So here, let's say I have 65. The char function basically returns the character that has character number 65. So if I close the bracket and press enter, I get A. So from 65, let me increase this to 66 and so on. And if I copy it down like this, and let me copy down this function as well. So you see, from character number 65 to 90 will give you the characters A to Z when you use that in the char function. So let's use the char function and the RANDARRAY function together to generate the letters A to Z. So let's now use the RANDARRAY function and the char function to generate a random letter between A to Z. So I can write the function like this, equals, I will start with char, and inside, for the number argument, I will use a RANDARRAY function. So for the RANDARRAY, I need only one row and one column because I need just one character, so one cell. And the minimum value is 65. So that refers to A. And the maximum value is 90. That refers to Z. And I will select integer here. I will put the closing bracket for char function, and press enter. And I got generated the letter E, and I got a randomly generated E over here. If I do some change in the workbook like this, if I type 1, now it has recalculated and I got J. We can use RANDARRAY to generate random dates as well. So let's look at how we can generate random dates between two dates, for example, first. So I can write the function like this, RANDARRAY. And let's say I want 10 days. I will give 10 as the row number. And for columns, I will use one column. And for min, I will give the starting date. So let's say I will need to put it in double quotations if I'm giving it in hard code form. So I will give from 1st of January 2024 as the starting point, the minimum value. For the max value, I will give 30th April 2024. Close double quotation. And I will use integer and close bracket and press enter. So let's format this. Short date. So I gave from 1st of Jan 24 to 30th April 24. So I got all these dates are between those two dates. So that's how we can generate random dates between two given dates. So now let's try to generate 10 random dates in the next 12 months, starting from today and including today. So let's build the function equals RANDARRAY, and I need 10 dates. So I'll put 10 as the number of rows and one column. And for the min value, I want to start from today. So I will use the today function. Close the bracket for the today. And for the min, I will need a date between next 12 months. So to get a date between next 12 months, I will use the eDate function. eDate, and I'll give the starting date as today. And the number of months to go forward is 12. So I'll put 12 for months. And for the last argument, I will use integer. So, and press enter. So let's format this and see. So from today, next 12 months. So I got dates that are between the next 12 months starting from today. Here we are going to use the RANDARRAY to generate 5 random names from a list of names. So here we got, if we take the count, we got 20 names. Here the count is 20. So from these 20 names, I want to select 5 random names. So we can actually use index function in combination with the RANDARRAY. Let's see how we can do it. We will start with index. And for the array, we will give this array, the 20 names. And then within this array, now we are going to select a random row number. So to do that, I will give RANDARRAY here. And we want 5 names. So we will give 5 as the number of rows and one column. And the minimum value, we will give 1. And the maximum is 20 because we got 20 names. And finally, we will use integer and close the bracket. And I need to close another bracket for the index function. and press send. And here I got 5 random names using the combination of index and RANDARRAY.
Thanks for watching.